So with my last Ultra Impact video, we went through the data download. What I didn't know was that all of the actual details for each and every single one of the characters and memories was out as well. So I'll go through that in today's video. So if you do enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And for each single card and memory, I will talk about if it's worth to actually chase for it. So one thing to note is that the banner is limited time only. They will not appear in future banners until the next hot picks for them comes out, which we have no idea when that's going to be. First of all, the highlight of the banner will be the Deku. So let's go and look at that. I'll be looking at DX level just so we are all on the same page here. And first of all, his stats, I think his speed is really good, 588, making him one of the fastest characters in the game. We're closing in on that 900 speed, which is insane. 35,000 HP and 7,000 power, which are pretty decent. And then for his plus ultra, we got 700% damage. The skill gains piercing shot, so a really good ability as that goes through damage reduction, barrier, stuff like that. If the character is static, so that is one requirement that you do need to have. Makes all allies excluding character static for 3 turns, which kind of sucks. Obviously, you want him to also have a static. Pretty much a static is just plus ultra gauge rate increase, which is actually pretty good, especially if you aren't running like, say, a MHUI that can support in the plus ultra gauge gain. First action skill is 400% damage to a single opponent when character is a static. This skill gains piercing shot and increases skill impact. Again, another restriction on the static there with a 4-turn cooldown. Both skills are actually 4-turn cooldowns, which is pretty nice. 350% damage to a single opponent increases character's power by 30%. Decrease the opponent's defense by 15% for 3 turns when character is ecstatic. Another restriction. Now you might be wondering how you're going to get ecstatic. Well, it's all in the auto skills. His first auto skill, however, is a support for all UA high school students, which is an actually really good auto skill because there are just all of the best cards pretty much are all UA high students. So having that as a 25% support in power is actually really insane. Probably one of the best supports in the game in terms of buffing up by power. Auto skill 2 is where you get a static. Now, it makes them from 3rd turn onwards. So the first 2 turns is a dead turn, which means unless you're getting a static somewhere else, you're not going to be activating this or this in the first 2 turns, which really does suck. And so he's more built for that long-term gameplay. I don't know if it's really worth it to even try to put him in the main slot and try to build him like that when there's obviously so many other better options. VE Tower, usually the best scorers tend to be those units that can kill in the 3rd turn, or like the best runs are usually the ones where you can beat the boss in the 3rd turn. So you're not activating any of these technical hits or anything like that, or getting that extra damage, which really does suck. Now, the only way that I can think of getting a static is through a memory, the Giro memory that gives a static. And with that, I guess you can make him work, but you're losing on so much valuable other stats that you could have gotten from that memory slot, where it's just, it is a very awkward character. Now, I don't think you can put him in the sub lineup and have this activated straight away. I think he has to be on the field and last for 3 turns. But if you can, I mean, it does work like that, because I always forget if it works like that, then he could be an okay sub liner if he can get a static on the 1st turn, but I doubt. So I would say, honestly, if I had limited gems and I wasn't pay to win or anything like that, I would probably skip. I think the fantasy units are doing better in PvP and VE Tower in general over this Deku. Now, the Froppy, however, now I wouldn't say you should be chasing for an SR specifically, but I've had a look at this Froppy and she's actually really good. I don't know how valuable SR characters have gone now because of the whole shift in VE Tower, where you want to kill in 3 turns, maximum 5 turns, which kind of does suck for a lot of the SR characters, because a lot of the SR characters back in the day were actually valuable, like the Netta, you know, the Todorokis, whatever, right? Because they had like built-in status effects, stuff like that, and they usually would have more technical hits than the URs. But now, since we're always rushing for that max damage, SRs really have just dropped down in value quite a significant amount, because most SRs now can't really do enough damage to get max scores. Of course, there's team builds for that specific one character that can do like over 100,000 damage in the 1 turn, but it's very, very unlikely. So when we look at it for a VE Tower standpoint, there are points dropped just because they are an SR and they probably won't do enough damage. But if we look at it the old standard way, she gets crit rate increase for all allies by 20% for 3 turns with a shortened character's cooldown, which is awesome. She does have high cooldowns to begin with, but it does help out tremendously. Her first action skill here provides a skill impact increase by 30% when hiding. All allies get a dodge when using the second or later skill chain. So this is a nice little defensive ability and also a technical hit right there. Ability to hide for 3 turns is the second action skill with a plus ultra gauge increase by 30% when using the successful skill chain. Also increase the critical rate of all allies by 20% for 3 turns when using a second. So a nice little crit rate support, which is actually really awesome. It's just kind of like the mini Frothy, which is a very good VE Tower character. Increased skill impact of all allies by 25% when hiding. So this is where you can see the value shoot up for her as a VE Tower character, because she can buff up all of the characters on your team as long as you're hiding, which means you can probably get that max score way more easier than a lot of the other SRs in the game. She does not have any status elements. That's the one thing that she does not have, but her crit rate, base crit rate is 15, which is awesome. And then she regenerates HP by 15% for 3 turns when HP is below 50%. Also increases speed of all allies by 25% when hiding. Once per battle, it gives character the ability to hide for 3 turns when HP is below 50%. So just another way of getting hide, which is very good. Speed increase doesn't really matter all too much. I haven't really seen speed be a big deal when it came to these recent VE Tower stages. So we'll just leave that as a useless ability at this point. Next up, we have the free-to-play Kirishima here. So this Kirishima is actually really good. And keep in mind, you're able to max him out to the 9th table, which is awesome. I'll probably just look at him at level 3 here. And 450% damage to a single opponent, reduces damage to character by 30% for 2 turns. Also gives character last stand. So this is a nice tanking ability. With the action skill, you get an additional 30% damage reduction. Also shortens action skill cooldown time of all allies, including himself, by 1 when using a successful skill chain. So that's awesome right there. And because it includes himself, you can like do a cool little loop, I guess, with like 3 other characters lowering cooldowns of each other. That would be pretty funny. Anyway, action skill 2, 250% damage, reduces damage by 30%. So he has 3 reductions in damage, also increasing his defense. This is not a technical hit, however, but still, you can make yourself really, really defensive. Remember, if you get like an EX skill of action skill damage reduction or something, you're pretty much taking literally no damage for the most part. So I think this is actually a really good Kirishima, and he's free. He also has crit rate increased by 25%, so making him a bit more valuable in VE Tower when HP is 50% or higher, which should be fairly easy with all the damage reduction you're getting. And also increases character's critical rate by 10% when affected by damage down, which his kit has damage down everywhere. So that's pretty much a 35% crit rate increase, which is amazing. And plus with the 10%, and then you get like another 30% from the memory, you're critting a lot of the time. Now, his last auto skill once per battle reduces damage of all allies, including self, by 30% for 2 turns when HP is 50% or lower, which is a nice little which is a nice little, you know, save your life kind of damage reduction, where you know, it obviously activates live. So if anybody's aggroing him, you know, that will help out tremendously. Now, if in a PvP standpoint, a lot of people are running pierce damage, so this guy probably won't be used in PvP at all. And then we'll look at the memories here. The UR memory is actually really good. We'll look at the DX right here, the DX ability. Increases power of all ally UA1A characters by 15%. So not only are you buffing yourself, but you're buffing any UA students, which is actually really, really awesome. Increases character speed by 35%, which is amazing when equipped to a 1A student. So that's also going to help you out in PvP. There's a nice speed increase. 35% is one of the highest in the game. I don't think there's much memories that go over to 40% speed bonus. Also, once per battle, give all allies the ability to evade 1 time when HP is 50% or below. So everybody who's using that SR memory on the Nejiri, you gotta swap it out for this memory, because this memory is actually really, really amazing. Now, she won't get the 15% power buff, but the support and the dodge is all that really matters, right? And of course, you're gonna get that UR stat. So again, it's one of those situations where I kind of like the memory over the character. Again, just like how the last banner with the Endeavor, although Endeavor's pretty good, important for this recent VE Tower stage, I think I would have rather taken the memory for sure. But yeah, same goes for this one. Now for the SR memory, this is the summonable one. DX is a critical rate by 25% when equipped by a UA high student. Also plus Ultra Gauge by 15% for every 2 critical hits up to 3 times. Also gives character the ability to evade 1 time every 3 critical hits up to 2 times. Kind of very similar to the Destruction Mirio that we just recently gotten from the Anniversary, the free-to-play one. So that's pretty cool. I think this is a really good memory for VE Tower. Even though it's an SR memory, I think SR memories still have a place in that game mode compared to SR characters, per se. So I actually like this memory quite a bit. If only this came out, like, you know, before the 1-year anniversary, this would have been an amazing, amazing, amazing memory. And then this is the free-to-play memory, which you are able to farm. So this one increases power by 25% when equipped to a male. When a wave starts, increases characters plus Ultra Gauge by 25% and regenerates characters HP by 10%. This is an okay memory, nothing too crazy. I think a lot of memories have this kind of similar effect, so I'm going to say this one's not too crazy. But it's free. You can't really complain about that. So that's pretty much it for the new memories and characters. I would say skip unless you really are a collector, because this is a limited edition, but this is another banner where you can save. I think for the 6-month anniversary for Global, we're probably going to get something better, so I would just diamond hands those gems and just keep on saving. If you guys did enjoy today's video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel with the notification bell on. I will be live over at twitch.tv once the banner does go, and because he's limited and I am a collector, I am going to try and summon for him, and hopefully I can get him and the memory. So check out the link in the description to my Twitch channel. Until the next one, stay healthy, stay safe, stay fizzy. Peace out.